All right, let's just jump right in. You know, for decades, pretty much our entire digital world has been built on one single amazing material, silica.
It's the engine behind, well, everything. A multi-trillion-dollar market that really is the foundation of modern life.
Now that is the question that's driving an absolute revolution. What if, instead of chips that just think in ones and zeros, the next generation operated on the truly mind-bending rules of quantum mechanics? We're talking about computers that could solve problems that are literally impossible for today's fastest supercomputers.
And look, this isn't some far-off science fiction anymore. A new, incredibly high-stakes race is officially on to build the world's first practical quantum computer. This is kicking off what could become the next great chip market.
So who's actually in this race? It's this fascinating mix. You've got these nimble, super-focused startups on one side, and on the other, the biggest tech giants on the entire planet. Let's break down who's who.
First up, let's talk about IonQ. They're one of the leading pure-play companies, which just means their entire business, their whole reason for being, is built around quantum computing.
IonQ's tech is called trapped ion, and it is just incredible. They literally hold individual atoms in a laser trap and use them as these ultra-stable qubits, the basic building blocks of a quantum computer. Now, their big advantage? They're on every single major cloud platform. AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. That's insane access. And they are swimming in cash. But, and this is a big but, look at that challenge. With a sky-high valuation, the pressure on them to deliver on their super aggressive roadmap is just immense.
Okay, now let's turn to the veterans in this space, D-Wave. I mean, these guys were the first ones to actually sell a commercial quantum computer. So D-Wave's main thing is something called quantum annealing. Think of it less like a computer that can do anything, and more like a specialized machine built to find the single best solution to a really complex problem like, say, the most efficient delivery route for a massive fleet of trucks. And for that, it's brilliant. That's how they've built a real client base. The challenge for them? Annealing is a bit of a niche. So now they're also trying to develop the more common gate model tech, which means they're kind of playing catch-up in that bigger race.
Now that challenge of scaling, of just getting more and more powerful qubits, that brings us to Rigetti. And they have a really, really interesting idea for how to solve it.
So instead of trying to build one single gigantic, super complex quantum chip, Rigetti's big idea is to link smaller modular chiplets together. It's kind of like quantum Lego, right? If they can pull this off, it could be a much faster way to scale up. But that little word "if" is doing a whole lot of work in that sentence. The execution risk is just massive, and they have to prove this even works while going head-to-head with giants like Google.
And if you really wanted to understand the kind of pressure they're under, just look at this number. An enterprise value to sales multiple of around 450x. That's not just investors betting on success. That is a bet that they are going to completely rewrite the rules of the game.
All right, let's shift gears and talk about the titans of tech. We'll start with Microsoft because they are absolutely swinging for the fences with a totally revolutionary idea.
See, Microsoft isn't just trying to build a better quantum computer. They're trying to build a fundamentally different kind of computer using something called topological qubits. The dream here is that information is essentially braided into the very structure of the qubit, which would make it naturally resistant to errors and noise, and that's the single biggest problem in quantum computing today. If it works, they could leapfrog everybody. The enormous challenge, as you can see, is that the physics is still unproven. They haven't even built one yet. This is a true moonshot.
So while Microsoft is making this huge all-or-nothing bet on its own hardware, Amazon is playing a completely different game.
Amazon's strategy is pretty simple and pretty brilliant. Be the quantum app store. Their service, Amazon Bracket, is basically a marketplace where developers can get access to hardware from a bunch of different players, like IonQ and Rigetti. Their unbeatable advantage, of course, is the massive AWS cloud platform. They don't have to win the hardware race to be a huge player. The only catch, their success is directly tied to how well their partners do.
And finally, we come to the company that really fired the starting gun in this whole race, Google.
You might remember, back in 2019, Google's Sycamore processor achieved what they called quantum supremacy. It performed a calculation that was practically impossible for the world's best supercomputer. That moment really cemented them as a research powerhouse. They are constantly pushing the scientific boundaries with a laser focus on the Holy Grail, a fully error-corrected, fault-tolerant quantum computer. The challenge for Google now is, how do you translate these amazing research breakthroughs into something practical that people can actually use?
Okay, so we've met all the players. Now let's put them all side by side, because this is where you can really see how these different strategies and financial situations stack up against each other.
I mean, this table just makes the story so clear. On one side, you have the pure plays, IonQ, D-Wave, Rigetti. Look at their revenues. They're tiny. But then look at their EV to sales multiples. They are absolutely astronomical. Investors are pricing in a future that just doesn't exist yet. And on the other side, you have the tech giants, where their quantum efforts don't even make a dent in their revenue. This isn't just a technology race. It's a battle between these focused, high-risk startups and these massive, deep-pocketed giants.
So, with all that in mind, how could we possibly rank these players? Let's try to look at their potential upside over the next 3 to 5 years, but adjusted for all the risks we just talked about. Let's check out one possible leaderboard.
All right, here we go. Coming in at number 6 is Amazon. Its aggregator model is super low risk, but it also offers the lowest near-term upside. Then at 5, Rigetti. Huge potential with that chiplet tech, but it's balanced by just massive execution risk. In 4th, we've got D-Wave, solid company with a strong niche, but they're a bit limited by that annealing first approach. Number 3 is Microsoft, a true game changer if their topological bet pays off, but the scientific risk is just off the charts. Now in the 2nd spot, Google. A clear technology leader, high probability they'll have the next big breakthrough, and that leaves at number 1, IonQ. As a well-funded pure-play company with a clear roadmap and that incredible cloud access, it's positioned for the highest potential upside if, and it's a big if, it can deliver on its promises.
So, after we've broken down all the players and even looked at a possible ranking, there is one crucial thing we absolutely have to remember about this entire field.
And the big takeaway is this: the race for quantum advantage is a marathon, not a sprint. This is an incredibly high-risk, high-reward game. The prize for winning is, well, it's enormous. It's nothing less than the future of computation. But right now, there is absolutely no guaranteed winner.
Which leaves us with the billion-dollar question, right? You have the world's biggest companies, some of the most brilliant minds alive, and billions of dollars all chasing this one goal. So who do you think is going to be the first to cross that finish line and unlock true quantum advantage? The race is on,